Hello and welcome to another episode of Universal Gaming. I'm your host, Paula Brandt. Today we're going to talk about Fortnite and how they incorporated the new Star Wars movie for a limited edition event, limited time event. We're going to talk about the Wizards of the Coast convention coming up February 2000 called Winter Fantasy. And we're going to talk about Star Realms, the card game. We'll also have our Northeast Indiana events calendar near the end of the show. If you have a question or a comment, or you'd like to learn about our library of books, our eBay, anything that we're doing on Facebook, let me know. My email is brantp23@yahoo.com. Star Realms is a card game made in 2017-2018 by White Wizard Games. And I always love to have people tell me that they have a game that they'd like to show on our show. And I'm here with Alan Bangs. He works here at Access Fort Wayne. Thank you for coming in today.
Sure.
I know you told me about this game a while back. And tell me, what is it? It's a space game with cards?
Yeah, you're going to play cards that allow you to build a fleet of spaceships to try to win the game by reducing the authority of your opponent. And the authority is the word they use for your health.
Okay.
So there's cards here in the center, and you have a few cards that you start with, and
Okay.
you use those to purchase these better cards.
Okay.
And as the game progresses, you have these cards that represent anything from little fighters or shuttles to big space battleships.
Okay.
And you use those then to attack your opponent or to increase your own authority, aka health, or to have trade for purchasing new ships that are in the middle here and available.
And then what's the goal? You're just fighting ships, or is it?
The goal, every turn you're going to play 5 cards, and you're going to play those 5 cards and deal damage to your opponent, and use trade to buy more cards. And there are some cards that give you more authority or health, so you can increase your own to help mitigate the damage that maybe your opponent did to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you would lose if you lost all your health.
Yeah. Everybody starts with 50 authority, and we use these cards here to keep track of that. So where Paula and I are both on 50 right now, and as the game progresses, that will decrease, sometimes increase. You can get above 50. I put a couple of cards out here, and I think you got some pictures of them that show some examples of what these cards can do. Every card has a cost associated with it. So when you buy a card, the upper right-hand corner has the price that it takes in trade to pay for the card, and then that goes into your discard pile and will get shuffled into your personal deck as the game goes. And then they all have an effect. Like this card, this yellow card, gives you 2 trade every time you play it. And that is trade that you can spend to buy cards from the trade row that is in the middle of the table here. If there's another yellow card, which are they call them the Star Empire, if there's another yellow card that you've played that turn in your hand, you also get 4 combat. So it pays to have cards of the same faction in your deck because they'll play off each other and complement each other in that way.
You said that this is a starter deck, and you can also buy boosters and build decks.
Yeah, and one of the great things about this game is it's fairly inexpensive, and you can buy boosters that add more of a variety of cards and even a few new special cards to the game, and so that can make it a lot of fun. That way there's a lot of replayability when you do that.
Because like you said, there's the Star faction, and then there's this other faction in this deck.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, there's 4 factions. There's Star Empire, and we talked a little bit about this card. There's the Trade Federation, and this particular card is a little more expensive. It costs 5 to purchase, and it will give you 5 combat, and you'll increase your own authority by 4 when you play it. For this particular one, if you have another Trade Federation card that you play on that turn, you get an additional 2 combat and an additional 2 authority.
Okay.
Not all the cards have the ability to complement from another card in their faction, but a lot of them do, so that's certainly worth mentioning. There's a couple other factions too. There's the Blob, which are evil aliens, and there is, and I always forget the name, the Machine Cult. And they're the red cards. The Blob are the green cards.
Okay.
And they all have, each of the 4 factions have specialties in the game. Like the Trade Federation is good at giving you more authority. The Star Empire can make your opponent discard a card. I forgot to mention that. On this card it says target opponent discards a card. And that might make it a little bit harder for your opponent to have a good turn the next turn. And the Blob is great at combat. They'll dish out a lot of damage. And the Machine Cult is good at drawing more cards and manipulating your deck to make it better. You can actually remove cards from your deck because which brings up a good point. There's a starting deck that everybody has, and they have very simple cards that give you some trade, these scouts, and some cards that give you some combat, these vipers. And so there's a deck of 10 starting cards. So that's what Paula and I are going to start with. And Paula, if you'd like to shuffle those up.
Okay.
On the first person, the first turn, the first person to go only draws 3, and that way they can't buy all the good cards out of the trade row. Every other turn, though, you draw 5 cards each turn.
Okay.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
And
Sounds good.
I will draw 3 cards then.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. You may draw your hand now of 5 cards. And let me set these aside because we're not going to use those.
And we're going to buy what's in the trade row.
Yeah, you can buy what's in the trade row. There's 5 cards here. You can always buy an Explorer, which are inexpensive cards. So say all the cards out here are too expensive and you can't afford them. Well, you can buy an Explorer for just 2 trade. So I have a Viper that does 1 combat, and I have 2 Scouts that are 1 trade each. So I have 2 trade that I can buy. Now, a good early game strategy is to try to get more trade into your deck. So I'm going to use these 2 trade to buy an orbital shuttle. And that costs 2. And every turn I play it, it gives me 3 more trade. And it also says here, if you have 2 or more bases in play, which we might talk about in a minute or so here, gain 4 authority and draw a card. So that ability only plays off if I have 2 bases, and that's another kind of card that you can get.
Okay.
So I've just bought this. I'm going to put it in my discard pile over here.
Okay.
We're going to put another card out to replace that one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do 1 combat to you, so you go from 50 to 49. So I've plinked you. And at that point, I discard these cards. I draw 5 more cards, and it's your turn.
Okay. And I can play how many again?
You can play all 5 of those.
All 5 of those.
Yep.
Well, I will do that since this is my first time playing. So I have 4 trade and 1 damage.
Right.
I think I'm going to get the farm ship.
Yeah. That's probably a good play.
That does allow me to draw a card, then discard a card.
Yeah.
But does it go into the discard right now?
It goes into your discard pile right now.
Okay.
But don't worry. It's going to get, when you need more cards, when your personal deck has run out, you just shuffle up your discard pile.
Okay.
So it will reappear later.
Okay.
All right. So when you do that, we place another card.
Okay. Spike cluster.
And hey, that's one of those bases I was talking about.
All right.
And we'll see what happens. Maybe one of those will come up in our deck. Oh, and you did 1 combat to me too.
1 combat, yes.
So I'm at 49. All right. So it's my turn again, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trade. Let's see what I can buy for 5 trade.
Well, there's not much there.
Tell you what, I'll buy this base, and maybe it'll give us a chance to explain what happens when that comes out to play.
Okay.
And we'll put that card out.
Burrower.
So I spent 2 on this base. I have 3 more to spend. So I think I'll buy that Burrower that just came out. That's another blob card. So I have 2 blob cards in my deck now. And we put that out. There's another base.
So then when we get done with our deck, we're going to go through this discard.
Yeah. So I have a good example of that. I'm going to draw 2 cards, and then I run out.
That would be on the turn next. Yeah.
Well, at the end of your turn, you draw up for the next turn. And then I'm going to shuffle up my discard pile, where I have put all the cards I've played and put all the cards I purchased, and shuffle those up, and I draw 3 more, and then I'm up to my 5. So that's for my next turn. And now it's your turn.
I believe we've run out of time for doing this demonstration. I want to thank you for coming on the show and doing this with us. We will play the game a little bit more in the credits of our show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Fortnite does special themed events sometimes, and like with the release of Borderlands, they did a Borderland themed area. With the release of this new Star Wars movie, they did a release event, a short time themed event where Star Wars, you could have lightsabers and different challenges if you can find them in these special crates. And I thought it was really neat what they did. A lot of you probably have seen what they did live. They had a live event in Fortnite where you could see a clip from the new movie. They had a Millennium Falcon that came in and started flying around, being shot at by TIE fighters. J.J. Abrams was in Fortnite, and he was actually there to introduce the clip of the movie. I thought that was really neat that they could do that, and they were playing different characters. They had different skins on and dancing, and the guy kind of looked like J.J. Abrams. And also there were a lot of people, a lot of gamers live streaming the experience, so people that couldn't get into the match to watch the movie clip could actually watch it live. I thought that was neat that people were doing that. Overall, I thought the movie clip was interesting. I thought it was interesting that Star Wars even did this. We know that they did this before with Marshmello. Marshmello played some music in Fortnite, and you can see videos of that on YouTube. I thought that was interesting too. But those are my thoughts. Here's a little bit of what we saw when we were actually playing during the live experience.
Hello, everyone in Fortnite. I'm Jeff Keighley. Unprecedented event we've all gathered for. Millions of us from around the world for an exclusive scene premiere from Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. As you've seen, there's a little bit more to today's festivities. Why don't y'all use your favorite emotes right now to tell me how excited you are about this. We see some of you guys out there. We see Demise, we see Dr. Lupo, Willie Rex. All you guys have gathered here. Luca Ford Gaming, welcome to this special event for the first time inside of Fortnite. J.J. Abrams will be here, and we're going to show you a scene from The Rise of Skywalker. But wait, who's this?
Oh, I am a stormtrooper, but I'm also a person. You saw me moonwalking down here. How is everybody? Let's emote! Let's all dance and emote!
We're all doing quite well, but I was expecting J.J. Abrams.
Well, he's in there. He's in there. He is my closest friend in the universe, so I made sure he's good and in there. That was a kind of a weird trip up there. I was in the bathroom the whole time. What happened? How did we land?
I don't know how you got on and let him fall in the first place.
Sneaky. Thank you for saying I'm just very good at my job. Look at me, Mark. Look at me, Mark. Look at me, Mark. Look at me, Mark. You know what I mean?
You're an excited stormtrooper. Are you in the film as well?
I am. Oh, thank you for. I would love to plug my own film. It's Star Wars. I am in this film. I believe I did one scene, and JJ was so blown away by me in the background. He was like, "Okay, we're gonna keep putting you in. You're my closest friend. I'm inspired by you." That's what he kind of said.
All right. Well, I hope JJ's actually he's going to be here.
Bring him out. Do you want me to bring him out?
Bring out J.J. Abrams right now.
Let's do the weirdest emote we can if we want to bring it. Yep, that's it. How am I possibly blowing a bubble through my helmet? That's what we meant. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, J.J. Abrams!
Hello, Fortnite. I have never been thinner.
Oh, you look...
Not one time.
You've been working at your legs look amazing, JJ.
Fortnite, you know the first thing I do? I don't eat.
You don't eat, and we can tell. You can tell on your legs.
Amazing. I like to say hello to everyone in the world. Hola and bonjour
Oh wow.
and konnichiwa.
Oh my goodness.
Ciao.
And you're not reading this off a list?
No. This is me.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty amazing. JJ is live inside of the game.
Yasu,
Oh, sorry, he's still going. Yeah, keep going.
Hello.
Okay.
Salam. Hey.
It's amazing that you can say these with such precision when your pants are so tight.
Well, it's amazing to be here. Look at this. This is
Unbelievable.
Never before have we had a live conversation inside of
Hold on. Check
Fortnite.
my phone.
Oh, yeah. This is unbelievable.
Everyone is dancing, emoting, having fun, and JJ, it's so exciting to have you here. Now, since we are in Fortnite, we're in this virtual world, you know, anything can happen, and we might be able to change even who you are. So you look great as yourself, but what if we change you into...
That's what I'm talking
There you
about.
go.
Whoa!
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and
Dreams come true, my friends.
well, your biggest dream of all could come true because you could become your friend here.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
Here's the thing about the stormtrooper. What is your identity?
FN143, that's my name.
FN143.
Yeah.
They're 4 digits.
The 0 is silent. Oh my goodness, you just turned into... Is that my dad? Dad?
Can you guys maybe do a dance together or something like that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, let's go, Dad. Okay. All right. That's cool. That feels appropriate.
Look at my look.
Sure, yeah.
You guys are looking good. We can even turn you into me if we want to, Jay. No one want to do that, but there you go. Anything is possible
That's
inside of
Dude,
Fortnite.
Jeff, this is my fantasy.
It's about being here.
Exactly.
So, the other thing is about FN143. I did.
Oh.
But before we leave you, we have one last question that is going to be a very important decision that everyone around the world makes. Now tell us a little bit about you. The question is, what is your favorite lightsaber?
What a question.
You don't have to answer this, FN.
Okay, I might though.
Well, do you have a favorite?
What are the choices?
Yes.
Red.
All right. Well, it looks like we've got red, we've got purple, we've got green, and we've got blue. What's going on? I don't know. I got a really good feeling about it.
I gotta go. I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble. I gotta go with this bouncy ball. That's my catchphrase.
He's getting back on the ship on a bouncy ball. It's cute.
At last the work of generations is complete. The great error is corrected. The day of victory is at hand. The day of revenge. The day of the Sith.
That's so cool. Lightsabers! You got the red one like you wanted. Kurt?
Thank you for watching another episode of Universal Gaming. Winter Fantasy is a convention that's coming up February 5 through 9, 2020. Registration is open now. It'll be at the Grand Wayne Convention Center. Lots of RPGA, Dungeons and Dragons by Wizards of the Coast. It's been going on for a long time. It's a fun convention. We're going to go and videotape it, but we probably won't have it done until March. Sorry. It takes a while to edit video. But we'll be there. I hope you can attend. Hope to see you there. If you want to contact us, if you'd like to be on our show, let me know. My email is brantp23@yahoo.com. If you'd like to check out our Facebook or eBay account, stay tuned for the credits. The information's on there. The show airs twice a month on the first and third Saturday at 8 o'clock on FiOS 27, Comcast 57, and live streaming on Access Fort Wayne. Look for Channel 2.